All right, so for our next wonderful speaker and soul for today, Susan Piet, who spoke at the last event we did, and she was kind enough to come back and speak some more about love.
Thank you, Greg. So the title of my little talk today is called "Open Your Hearts to Loving," and a lot of what Edie said. I know my throat's like all of a sudden a little bit. A lot of what Edie was talking about, I could really resonate with, and the songs too. Just from the heart, you can really feel when you hear these words how we have the ability to resonate with that and expand. But a lot of times in our daily living, thank you very much. One of those quick drink.
Not getting there, I think.
But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the idea of the definitions of loving. What does that mean to different people? It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It can be a noun, it can be a verb, it can be an adjective, it can be a whole lot of things. And we've had a lot of different experiences with loving and what that is. And, sometimes we have loved very profoundly, and we've had our hearts broken. And we've said, well, that's it, I'm not doing that again. So we stop risking loving. And that's really not a good place to be in. And the truth of the matter is, as we are streaming, live on this internet here, we're also streaming love with every breath that we take. It's in our hearts, our soul, it's everything. And so one of the things that I thought would be a nice thing to do is set an intention within our hearts. So if everybody could just close their eyes right now and just take a couple nice deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just allow any mental energy to just start to slide away. And I want you to just start to imagine as you're floating down into a place that I want to call the playground for your mind. Just dropping down, 1, 2, 3, just dropping a little slower and slower, deeper and deeper, 4 and 5 to the playground of the mind. And this is a place of infinite possibility, and there are many of these infinite possibilities, but this one is deep within. And here in this place, I want you to just quietly affirm that love comes through me, it spreads to all those around me, with each breath I take. Just feel that moving through you. I am a clear and perfect channel for the love of God, Spirit, Source, and I share it unconditionally. I see the light and the love in all of those whom I meet. It's in their eyes. Whether they see it or not, I see it. And in those times when I am with others, and maybe they're not in tune with their own ability to love, I can have compassion for them. And in those times when I am unable, I have compassion for me. Just allow those energies, those statements to fill you in every cell of your being. And now we're going to just come up slowly. 5, 4, 3, expanding and coming up into present moment, 2, and 1. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. A little softer, doesn't it? A little bit of softness in here. So one of the things that, I'm in private practice. I used to work with people, and we have all kinds of issues and challenges that people bring to the table, and we talk about being in relationship or being in loving relationships, or how do I find it, how do I go about doing this for myself. And one of the things that is really paramount in any relationship is the ability to communicate. So we need to talk to each other about what's going on, how we feel. We can meet somebody, or where do we meet these people, and all that kind of stuff. But if we don't have the skill set to get out of our comfort zone and talk to somebody, you might as well just stay at home. So one of the things I'd like to try with you all right now, I know you all probably know each other in some level here, but if you could now, I'm going to challenge you to find somebody in this room that you don't know, or that maybe you don't know very well. And I want you all to pair up with somebody, because we're going to do a little sharing exercise to sort of open up this heart sharing a little bit more, okay? So just take a few minutes and find somebody you don't know. And you can move around the room. You can sit up here or over there, wherever you want. Joey.
Very nice to meet you. Great. A friend of mine.
You guys know each other? Okay.
Why don't you join us?
Huh? That's all right. Somebody's got to do this. Okay. So, how are we doing? Do we have everybody? Does everybody have somebody? You know everybody? Greg needs somebody to connect with you.
We can do a threesome.
Hey, you want to do a threesome up here?
Right, you want to do a threesome?
All right. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's all about love. You're set.
I like that very much. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
So, if I can just have your attention for a moment.
Joey.
We're going to do an exercise that's called If You Really Knew Me. All right?
Quiet, please.
Hello? We're going to do an exercise now, and it's called If You Really Knew Me. Now, the purpose of this is to engage with another human being and to share something about yourselves. And if you think about the circle of sharing, there's the hi, how's the weather, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. What's your name, where do you work, where do you live, blah, blah. But so I would call that this outer circle. All right? So if we think about this like a bullseye. So you have the outer circle, and those are those nice formal little niceties that we all share. And then in the middle, we get, maybe that's our friends and maybe our family members. We might share a little bit more deeply about certain things. Not everything, but some things. And then we have the bullseye right in the middle. And that bullseye in the middle, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that if you really knew me, especially in relation to loving, okay? If we could theme it on that, because that's what we're doing today. Or if there's something else you might want to share, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to challenge you all to risk sharing something from that level, all right? And so the way we're going to do this is going to be maybe about 5 minutes each, okay? So, yeah, oh my, yeah, yeah. When we're just sitting here shooting the breeze, 5 minutes goes like that. But when we really get into this sharing piece, all right, and you can do some surface stuff, and you can do some mid-range stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to all be here, but try it, all right? Just try it and see. So we're going to have a communicator, I'm going to have a listener. And the communicator is going to go first. And with every sentence that the communicator starts out with, you're going to say, if you really knew me, you know that, fill in the blank.
Can you give us an example?
Okay. I will. Okay, so for instance, for me, if you really knew me, you'd know that I work in the healing arts. Okay, it's kind of obvious. And then I might go a little bit more deeply and say, well, if you really knew me, you'd know that, let's see, what can I say? I should have had some examples for this. If you really knew me, you would know that, I have 2 kids. Right? So that's, I might not share that if you came to see me, or we're talking on the street. And then I might say, in the middle of all of that, that bullseye point, I might say, if you really knew me, you would know that I'm really having some issues with my son. And I might elaborate on what that might be. Or I might not. That might be enough. And so you start to share a little bit like that, right? And then the other person is not going to go, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, yeah, I've been there. I know. I happened to me, too. No. The person who is listening is going to be doing this with that beautiful soft focus. That soft focus. And just being there, being present, holding the space so that you can share. Now, this presses in on intimacy, Intimacy isn't just, some romantic term, but we can be profound and intimate with each other by risking loving. So I want you to try this, right? So we're going to have a communicator and a listener. And you're going to preface each sentence, and the listener is just going to listen. So go ahead and designate who's who. Okay.
Yeah.
And then whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start, okay? Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and start.
Do you want to start out if you really knew me? If you really knew me, know that I'm and if you really knew me, you would know that I can see the parts of people. That I can see who they are.
If you really knew me, you know that sometimes places that calm.
Oh, is it? Okay. So it's one person communicates for 5 minutes and then listens,
That's
and
correct.
another person communicates.
No, we're only going to do one side first. One side. 5 minutes. Yeah. So who's going to start? Okay. So you can go ahead. For 5 minutes, we're going to talk. And you're just going to say, if you really knew me, but not yet.
You're adorable. You can listen now?
Yes, we have to be a little ahead.
I got it. Yeah. This is not your first
I've been working. Well, if you knew me, you'd know that I've been doing a lot of work like trying to do this kind of stuff. So, and if you really knew me, you would know, ironically, that I'm scared to all hell to step out spiritually and really live a spiritual kind of life that I have calling upon. And if you knew me, you would know that every now and then I kind of push myself and force myself. What you may not realize even those years, I make it look easy, but it's really not because behind the scenes, I'm really pushing myself to do an event like this and really step out. And it's probably taken about 8 years since I got on Race Like I was ready to just really speak out openly,
the community, that for the past years, it's been taking that long to get the courage to really put myself out there and start helping people and living this new life that I believe we all want to do. But it's just scary. It's just feel like there's so many judge and question and I mean, it's like years and years. You grow up and conditioned by the way it is, and like this is it. There's good reality for changing. It's the way things are done. But I absolutely believe that it can be done. Sail fry.
I'm glad you're doing
Oh, and I'll also throw in this next one. Apparently, it's not conversations, but it's funny how it's kind of across the board. It's easy to say, "Oh, I have issues." Like,
one more minute.
But it's easy to something like where to just go into something with all my heart and soul.
Get a website for that. He's working on.
So if you really do need, I'm loving this.
Only one person sharing. Only one person sharing. No, just one.
Yeah.
You gonna do two at one time?
No, but we.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'll let you slide. I was going to put one of you on the hot seat. All right, I'll let you slide.
To your next session.
I'm sorry. I do all the I'm free and I live in New Jersey.
Yeah, Susan told me that.
Okay. Let's everybody stop now. Okay. Okay. Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, look on Secret.
Okay. So, we had a communicator and we had a listener. And the listeners, I want to commend you. I didn't see very many of you. I don't think I saw any of you chit-chatting about, oh, yeah. You were really there and present. And thank you. You know, it's not easy, you know. You want to, dive in on that. So, all right. So,
He's good. He's a good listener.
yeah, he's a good listener. He's been married to me for 30 years. So what we're going to do now, the listeners are going to turn to the speaker, and you're going to say, as I'm getting to know you, I understand. We're only going to take a couple of minutes with this, all right? I want you to mirror to your person what you heard, all right? Because this is where we're at, okay? So let's go. 2 minutes.
So forget about it. You were saying.
Yeah. So I got to do both of you. Well, I'll do part.
Yes.
Or not.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit for you, yeah. A little bit for you, a little bit for her. Are you going to do her? Or I'll do both. All right, whatever. Okay. Also,
As I get to know you.
As I get to know you, I totally resonate with being eccentric and taking risks too. So I totally get that, and I appreciate that because I also feel that way too. So it's like people look at me like, what? So I totally get that, and for you as well as scared of doing certain things because people do look at you. Who are you? And I end up staying home a lot by myself in my sanctuary where I feel protected. Yeah, I feel very protected. So, okay, so that's my spiel. That was good. Well,
question, but I just think you, I also believe about expressing yourself to do more. And I was hearing you had something to receive, so I think you was say that.
Okay. That concludes that part of it. All right.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so that's part one. We're going to switch the other way, but before we do that, oh man, yeah, we're going to switch the other way too. But before we do, I would like the person who did If You Really Knew Me, if anybody would like to share that experience. How did it feel to be able to, to say what you to share at that level? Anybody want to talk about that? The If You Really Knew Me people. Who would is there anybody here who would like to share what that felt like to reveal? Okay, go ahead.
It actually brought me to tears. Yeah. Yep.
Emotional stuff.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Very unexpected. Very surprised by my reaction. To a complete stranger.
Just a friend you haven't met yet.
Nice. It was a good listen.
Great. All right. Anybody else want to share?
I felt a love connection, and I don't know you, Anna, just from now, and I felt a deep connection.
Yes. Anybody else? One more, maybe? Edie?
Yeah. He's a good listener, a wonderful listener. I felt really heard, and it was a safety, even though he said we just met in the parking lot. There was a safety involved, and literally I did work up a sweat. I mean, really just spilling this all out. I could feel, So it's a good way to, if you get cold hands or cold feet, tell the truth about yourself. You just kind of generate the heat.
Was anybody able to go to the bullseye?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Did you want to share something?
It made me feel nervous. I am kind of cold now, thinking about all these things I dredged up. But I think Jonathan was a really good listener.
All right. I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're going to do something about that in a minute. All right. Very good. Now, for the listeners, is there anybody who would like to share their experience of giving that back?
Well, it's funny because I felt very nervous too. Which is, I wasn't going to tell you that, but I didn't want, but I'm glad you said that because I felt, normally like I'm very comfortable maintaining eye contact with people for a very long time, but at times I just felt nervous and I just looked away and I was like, okay, just listen, just focus on her again. But that was so weird, I felt the same thing. So I don't know what that was. But.
Yeah. Well, again, you're pressing in an area that you came here with an expectation to have this wonderful experience today, and I kind of upped the ante on you.
You sure did.
Go ahead.
I thought not only did the communicator being able to release the information, getting down to the soul, so to speak, but the listener, I learned in a very short period of time how to be a better listener by listening to the communicator talk about themselves. Because I began to see more than one. Having more than one onion, more than one world.
Great. That's great. That's wonderful.
Were you going to bring up how we felt after they talked about what they heard, the listeners?
Would you like to share that experience?
Yeah, that brought up a lot of emotion. I felt like crying.
Because somebody heard you.
And because of the issues that I dealt with. Like loss, grief, issues.
Things that came up that we're usually coasting out here. All right. Well, thank you all very much for doing that. But now we're going to switch it around. So the listener, you're going to talk, and the speaker is going to listen. So go ahead, another 5 minutes. pressing in on your stuff. If you really knew me,
I started. Say that again? I guess so, yeah. So, like I started to say before,
Right, you gotta start. Hold on, wait. Because I just wanted to say, but no, I don't remember the phrase. But
as I get to know you.
As I get to know you, right? As I get to know you, I can appreciate. Yeah, makes it. What's your word? I can appreciate that because that's also you not hiding yourself and wanting to put yourself out there. So I really appreciate somebody that does that.
He's kind of I mean, there's nothing there that was, I can't identify.
Okay, that's okay. If you really knew me, I guess I learned to do lots of radio work and massage. And I deal with a lot of different healers and different healers that come to my house. And you're from Native Americans, Ecuadorian shamans and stuff. So I'm passionate about learning spiritually. But also, if you really know me, people think I'm really outgoing. I'm very outgoing, but I'm really an introvert, and like I stated earlier, if you really knew me, I prefer to stay in my sanctuary. I feel safe. I love going out and doing meeting people, but sometimes I don't always feel that connection, so I feel like staying in where I feel safe, where I don't feel like I'm being judged, because I do my best not to judge me. So, and the fact that we're doing this, since I work one-on-one, I feel like I do this all the time anyway. I listen, they listen, we communicate, and so, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. So I feel like that's really blessed with my vibration. And that's all she wrote. My needs to the same. Well, I do a lot of stuff at my house. I have to realize, like I said, I do pipe ceremonies at my house. As a matter of fact, I think that we're having a workshop. I don't know if you've ever heard of Melchizedek. Well, one of his teachers is coming to my house and doing a workshop. And it's really about opening up your heart and your mind. So I'm looking forward to having that. No, I'm not teaching it. That class is going to, a teacher's coming to my house to teach it, to help me to open up my heart and to my third eye. So, and then what we're doing now is Merkaba meditation.
One more minute.
To help excel. So I'm really looking forward to that, to help me to get out of my sanctuary. Because eventually I'd like to do it, but I don't know where. So that will appreciate being present and loving. And that's what I'm focusing on. So this, do you have to go? Okay. And so this is like perfect. Like, my whole thing is one of my best friends passed away. We went to Mount Shasta. He was an amazing healer. And he was all to know him is to love him and to love yourself. So I feel like my journey is and that's my path right now. Just focusing on love. I will be by next year. And the book.
Okay, everybody. Finish your thought. And now we're going to switch gears. 2 minutes. And the listener is going to reflect. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and start that. As I've come to know you, I know that
That's great.
Okay, I just got the mental health survey.
God's there too.
Is that right? We're able to share that. One of the that should have been check and then it advised me that
I love it. She said she got to know you. You're supposed to say, as I got to know you. She said, as I got to know me. I think that was great. So, that's great.
We also help people and other
I did that, or because that happened, or I joined this, or I did that, or
I mean, you have multiple parts and then also
Okay, everybody, start to wrap that. Awesome. Okay. Who would like to share their experience this round?
As a communicator.
Okay, who would like to share? Anybody want to share their experience as a communicator? Nobody wants to share? Go ahead.
It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
I have this persona that I want out there. And I can't hold that in the life. It's pretty scary to abandon that dream of having that persona, which is totally false anyway.
Who was Edie was talking about being in your underwear?
Yeah.
It's kind of like being in your underwear, and you're just sitting here talking to somebody. Okay, anybody else? Yes, Brenda.
I had trouble making eye contact when I was speaking my truth because I don't want to see someone else's reaction to what I think is my ugly side.
Okay. Thank you. That's some great honesty. Remember what we put in here, that intention, that we see the light and the love in everybody's eyes. It's there. And that can really press on our stuff if we're not in that place too. But it can also be a life raft for us when we see that. That can be the very thing that maybe we need in that moment to get us over on the other side of something. So that can be a really powerful thing. Right. The tendency is to want to shut down from that. It's like, no, you got to go into it, risk it. Yes?
I felt more comfortable sharing with Dominic because he had shared with me so intimately and was so open with me that I felt safe sharing with him.
Yeah, I thought it might be a little easier, with turning the table, because we've had that initial experience. Right. But sometimes maybe not. Yes?
I just feel a really great sense of relief now, and Lillymore is an awesome listener, and it was funny because before we all picked partners, we both got up and wandered around, and neither of us found a partner, and then we ran into each other. It was like, oh, should we have stayed where we were sitting? Right. And it was just perfect. Like, the things that we both shared were perfect for each other to hear, and And it was just really, I just feel, I mean, just sharing this, it probably was easier because I was the second one to share, but more importantly, I just feel this tremendous sense of relief right now. You know, like, or release, I guess. So it's really just a great, great exercise. So
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this. It's for me, it was very powerful sharing with Rebecca. And interestingly enough, we had very similar issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I perceive it was very easy for me anyway to understand and appreciate and to empathize with what she was experiencing, and made me feel also not so alone in the challenge that's going on for me. That that we share that,
Right.
and understand that.
That's great.
It's just nice how deep you can go in 5 minutes.
I know, right? Yeah. Just imagine if you were sharing like that all the time. You know, I mean, being able to just drop into a space. You know, and I know some people ask me how am I doing. I'll tell you how I'm doing. You know, they might not want to know, but I'll tell you how I'm doing. You know. How about listeners? Would you like to share anything about your experience? Yeah.
I felt that was good that I had to sit there and listen because a lot of times I tend to interrupt, and it's hard for me to just listen to someone's complete thought without interjecting something. So I thought that was a good exercise for me to have to listen the whole time. And also, I was surprised at how much I retained. I didn't think that I would remember everything that Kim had shared, and I was listening.
And I think the bottom line is that we have more in common with people than we think. So much more.
You do.
Yeah, right?
You do.
I'm just amazed that in such a short period of time you can just feel so connected to somebody by getting right to the heart of the matter and skipping the surface stuff, and you just feel so close to someone that you didn't know 2 minutes ago.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. You ever see that commercial on TV where the guy comes up, he goes, "Hey, I got $1 million in my briefcase. Can you watch it for me? I'll be right back." You know that? You know, can you just imagine if you could do that? You know, I have to go in the store. Will you watch my baby for me? You know, or something. You know, could you pick up my mail while I'm gone, or feed my cat? You know, could we do that? I mean, with somebody that we don't know. How far afield have we gone from being neighborly, right? You know, just the simple human graces. You know, one of the things, I have this cell phone, and this one's kind of an antique to a lot of you folks. You have those, you know, ones that are sliding all over and everything. But, and, you know.
They call them sliders.
Yeah, those slider phones, yeah, whatever that is. I mean, I don't have that, but we've become so connected to each other through technology, and it's a wonderful thing. It really, really is. However, it does kind of take the FaceTime away, you know? And
there's an app for that.
There's an app for that. Exactly. So you have Skype, you have VC, you have, all these different things, and you have Facebook and all of that. And, if you have 5,000 friends on Facebook, how many of them are really your friends? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just try to remember that in your day-to-day. And I was going to do a little channeling here, but I think we're kind of out of time.
How can you do it?
But I wanted to say, all right, I'll do that.
You can't tell everybody you were going to do something.
I was gonna.
Can you do like 5 minutes?
Yeah, I can do it very good. All right. So, because I really want to integrate that, because really, if you think about it right now, you're feeling maybe a little bit raw, I mean, it was very invigorating, but maybe a little on the raw side. So let's hear what, our friends may have to say to help, bring that in. Do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, fine. All right, so everybody just close your eyes for a moment. And just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Fill in your belly. And releasing. And imagine now that you have these beautiful, glorious roots that are anchoring you to the earth. And if you were to imagine that your hands were outstretched, your hands and arms outstretched over you, you're much like a tree. And your branches reach up into the heavens above, and that beautiful golden light that shines upon us all is shining and radiating on you. And in the beginning, we did a little exercise, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to the heart. Bring your focus and attention there to your heart, just in this moment, and you see this beautiful golden radiant light. The one that shines above us is within us. And if you can just imagine that golden light expanding from your heart to the hearts of those you shared with today, to the hearts of everybody in this room, you can feel a vibration begin to rise. And in this moment, as always, you are one with all things. You are grounded to the earth and protected and surrounded and blessed by the heavens above. No matter who you are, no matter where you have come from, no matter what you have done, no matter what you perceive about yourselves, you are infinite. You are love. You are the grace and the peace that walks this plane at this time. And any limitations that you place upon yourself, be that from an outside experience or an internal disconnect, do know this, that as you are willing to allow yourselves to let this breathe, if you will, to release the constriction of disconnect, you will feel the bliss and the peace in every cell of your being. It is our guarantee to you and to all of you, and to those you love, and to those with whom you have great difficulty, and most of all, yourselves. Because the love of which we speak has no condition. It has no place, because it is all. When you tune in to the vibration of the cells within your heart, do you not feel them radiating joy? When you tune in to the cells of the skin on your face, can you not feel the movement there? Yes, you are alive. You are connected. You are one. This is no simple statement, friends. It is your truth. And you are called now and encouraged now to align yourselves as best you can. No judgment, no difficulty. Bless and release. And know this, from our hearts to yours, that we love and appreciate each and every one. And may you find the grace to return the favor to those with whom you interact, love, and wish to draw toward you. Blessings to you all until we meet again. And if you haven't already done so, you can just maybe rub your hands together, become a little bit more conscious of yourselves now. And if you haven't opened your eyes, you can go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
All right, well, enjoy that, feel that. I'm buzzing. So thank you all very much.